Good afternoon. Today we shall discuss the mark of the beast. This message will contain much scientific and historical evidence in order to explain and support the scriptures we have come to know. Let's take a look at the mark of the beast, or Verichip, as it is, and its many components. The Verichip is an RFID chip. What is an RFID chip? Well, I took this definition from Wikipedia. Not because I believe it to be a credible source, but I found this information to be credible. Radio frequency identification is the use of an object, typically referred to as an RFID tag, applied to or incorporated into a product, animal, or person for the purpose of identification and tracking using radio waves. Some tags can be read from several meters away and beyond the line of the sight of the reader. Radio frequency identification comprises of interrogators, which are also known as readers, and tags, which are also known as labels. Most RFID tags contain at least two parts. One is an integrated circuit for storing, processing information, modulating and demodulating a radio frequency signal, and other specialized functions. The second is an antenna used for receiving and transmitting the signal. There are generally three types of RFID tags. Active RFID tags, which contain a battery and transmit a signal autonomously, and passive RFID tags, which have no battery and require external source to provoke signal transmission. And third is battery-assisted passive tags, which require an external source to wake up, but have a significant higher forward link capability, providing greater range. Now, I would like for us to pay attention in particular to the passive tags as well as for the battery-assisted passive tags. I don't know how many of you are familiar with Nikola Tesla. He was the inventor who arose in competition to Thomas Edison during the Industrial Revolution. By his understanding of electricity, do we who use electricity to power our homes benefit? He convinced a powerful industrialist to use alternating current, which we use today, to power our homes, rather than direct current, which we use to power our automobiles. Now he also found that he could transmit electricity through the air, and that it could be received by a receiver that was dialed into the exact operating frequency. And with that energy that was received, he could power electronic devices. This is where it all started. Since him and other inventors have used this base understanding of electricity and energy to engineer other devices that were powered by transmitters and receivers. There was an invention that I found to be particularly interesting. It was developed by a Russian scientist named Leon Theremin. He developed a listening device that would be inactive until it was activated by a remote energy source. It was nicknamed the Thing. Again, Wikipedia has a page about this for more information. Now back to the mark of the beast. We see that the RFID chip has a receiver and a transmitter. Let's take a look at what the scriptures say about the mark of the beast. In the book of Revelation, chapter 13, verse 11, "Then I saw another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like the lamb, and he spoke like the dragon. And he exercises all the authority of the first beast, and those whose deadly wounds had been healed. He performs signs so that he can even make fire come down from heaven on the earth in sight of men, and he deceives those who dwell on the earth by those signs which he was granted to do in the sight of the beast, telling those telling those who dwell on the earth to make an image to the beast, who was wounded by the sword yet lived. And he was granted both power to give breath to the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause as many of those who would not worship the image of the beast to be killed. He causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and slave, to receive a mark on their right hands or on their foreheads, that no man should buy or sell except the one who has the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Here is wisdom. Let he who has understanding calculate that the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man. His number is 666. So what do we get from these scriptures concerning the mark of the beast? Everyone shall be forced to get it. Everyone shall use it to buy and sell. It shall be a means of currency. It is the number of a man. Well, the Verichip uses a 16-digit ID number, which is assigned to each chip, which is given to every person who gets it. Now, in this video, I'm not going into the calculation of the number of the beast. That will be on a separate video. Let's take a look at another scripture. In the book of Revelation, verse 2, so the first went and poured out his bowl on the earth, and a foul and loathsome sore came upon the men who had the mark of the beast and those who had worshipped his image. Now, what I find exceptionally interesting is that the animals that have been chipped with the RFID chip, produced by Verichip's sister company, a company named Home Again, have been developing malignant tumors. The tumors are actually growing around the chips. Here's another verse. We find it in the book of Revelation 19:20. Then the beast was captured, and with him the false prophet who worked signs in his presence, by which he deceived those who received the mark of the beast and those who received his image, who worshipped his image. So we see that those who received the mark of the beast and those who worshipped the image were made susceptible to the deception of the false prophet. So then we can conclude that the mark is a tool of deception. So let's take a look how this chip can be used to deceive. So we have established that the Verichip has a transmitter and a receiver. Let's take a look at where it's placed now, both on the right hand or on the forehead. Why there? Well, those locations are neurologically connected to the brain. So why is that important? Well, this passive technology lying dormant in these chips until the time that the exact and uncommon frequency will be broadcast, it shall cause the chips to produce a frequency which shall cause the people who have received the mark to become submissive and easily controlled and manipulated. Well, people, beware of the efforts of your enemies, because they're not going to look out for your best interests.